Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about advanced directives and some of the key differences between different types of advanced directives. So, advanced directives, most of you probably know that this is a document that details patient preferences at the end of life. So, for example, this is usually a straightforward form that a patient would either fill out upon being admitted, or they may already have one filled out before they are admitted to the hospital, in which case there should be a copy in their medical records. And this details what type of life-prolonging treatments the patient might be open to pursuing. Also can detail under what circumstances the patient would find it acceptable to withhold or withdraw life-sustaining therapy and things like that. So really important stuff, because this document really allows the patient's voice to shine through when they are no longer able to communicate. So that's the whole point of having this document, is to detail what somebody wants at the end of life in the event that they can't communicate it themselves. So we have two primary types of advanced directives in the state of Pennsylvania. We have the living will and the durable power of attorney for healthcare. Okay, so they're similar, but there are some key differences. So a living will is essentially enacted when the patient is in a terminal state that is deemed by two physicians that they are within 6 months to the end of their life, roughly speaking. And when they can no longer make their own decisions for whatever reason, then this document is enacted. So it's not enacted until they're 6 months from death. They have to be in a terminal state and they have to be incapacitated. So this document is a little bit limited. However, it does ensure that the patient's wishes are known, and it can assign a proxy or surrogate decision maker. Now, a durable power of attorney for healthcare is a little bit more flexible, and usually when a patient asks me what type of advanced directive they should get, I strongly encourage them to pursue this route. Now, a durable power of attorney for healthcare can be enacted at any point in the patient's life when they lose decision-making capacity. So I want you to think about that. That's a lot different from just being able to be enacted in the last 6 months of life. So if I were to go out and get into a car accident and I couldn't make decisions because I had a really bad concussion or I was unconscious for whatever reason, whoever I name as my surrogate decision maker and my durable power of attorney for healthcare is my decision maker. It doesn't go to my next of kin or anything like that. That document is enacted at any point in time I lose decision-making capacity. Now, this document also details the same information that you would see in a living will, specific interventions at the end of life, preferences for the end of life, again, to ensure that the patient can have treatment that aligns with their values and we can uphold their dignity to the best of our abilities. So the content is very much the same, but when these can be enacted is the key difference. Now, in the state of Pennsylvania, we also have a third category of advanced directives, and we'll, for sake of argument, call them informal advanced directives. These are documents that are not signed, are not witnessed, are not drawn up by attorney or anything like that, but they're documents in which patients have made their wishes known. So, for example, we had a case a couple of years ago where the patient was not able to write, but they verbally told the care team what type of care they wanted at the end of life, and they were able to make their mark on that. So it was verbal, it was copied down into the medical records, and it was noted that the patient had articulated their wishes. And so to the best of our ability, we would follow these instructions and preferences at the end of life, okay? So these are very informal. The best way to deal with these sorts of things is just to document to the best of your ability, and try to link that patient up with either a social worker or somebody from palliative care who might be an expert in helping patients fill out advanced directives to make sure they get something more formal in their medical charts. Okay, so the sticky part about all of this in the state of Pennsylvania is that even though a patient may articulate their wishes at the end of life, the surrogate decision maker still holds all decision-making authority. So what that means is, if you have a patient who says that they don't want life-sustaining therapy in X situation, and X situation happens, the surrogate decision maker can still elect to implement life-sustaining measures. So this is an imperfection in Pennsylvania state law. Advanced directives are not legally binding because decision-making still goes to the surrogate decision maker. So when you are practicing your clinical rotations as students and when you become a full-time healthcare professional, you will have these gut-wrenching cases where you know very clearly what the patient's preferences are, but for whatever reason, the surrogate decision maker is not capable of following through with those wishes. And that can become very distressing in some cases. So, but it's not all bad news, right? We're ensuring through these documents that patient preferences are known, that we can do our best to uphold the dignity of that patient. And again, as always, if you have any questions about this content, don't hesitate to reach out.